The world of the White Wolf wouldn't be half as rich without these characters. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 characters from the Witcher video game series. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at characters, likable or not, who enrich the story and the world of the series. Although the games were inspired by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski's short stories and novels, we'll be sticking to the open-world RPGs and their expansions.
Oh no! Boom! Hole.
Number 10. Olgierd von Everec.
Olgierd von Everec. I'm looking for him.
The enigmatic von Everec, nobleman and outlaw, is a paradox. At once reckless, hedonistic, chivalrous, and honorable. A pivotal character in the expansion Hearts of Stone, he leads a band of uncouth roughnecks known as the Wild Ones. But he is set apart by his code of honor and education, which includes a deep appreciation of the arts. Well, sometimes. Heck, even his hair is better than everyone else's. But there is more to von Everec than a cool haircut and noble blood. A Faustian figure, he has made a dangerous pact in the name of love. Unraveling this mysterious thread of his tragic tale is central to this expansion.
Well struck, Witcher. You win.
Number 9. Regis.
Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Once the vampire equivalent of an alcoholic, the dapper and articulate Regis has since sworn off blood and reformed. When Geralt meets the rehabilitated bloodsucker in the novels, he's disguised as an ordinary gentleman, although the name of his mule, Dracul, should probably have given it away. Get it? Dracul? Dracula? Anyway, in his youth, he would overindulge on blood and flutter home, breaking the sacred vampire principle. Don't drink and fly.
In somewhat better shape now, as you can see. Hardly peak form, mind you, but were I human, folk would think me a demigod, I dare say.
I'm sorry. What happened? It was my fault.
After being butchered by peasants, he regenerated, died, and reappears in the expansion Blood and Wine, proving you just can't keep a good vampire down. Regis, who would typically be a monster that Geralt should kill, instead becomes a powerful ally and perhaps Geralt's best friend in Blood and Wine, further muddying the moral ambiguity of the series.
But we've not seen one another in ages, my friend. At least in human terms, that is.
Number 8. Letho.
Took you a while? Is that bauble from Sheila's megascope? My final prank.
A Witcher from the School of the Viper and the primary antagonist of the second game in the series, Letho is more cunning and slippery than his vein-riddled, bulging biceps might suggest. Seriously though, did he overdose on Witcher steroids? Letho is a complex character, doing the dirty work of a much greater power, but showing some loyalty, or at least respect, to fellow Witcher Geralt and the White Wolf's main squeeze, Yennefer. In the end, all the dude wants is to rebuild his Witcher school in the south. What are a few dead kings compared to a place that you can call home? You, don't have to answer that. Number 6. Dijkstra.
I was being serious.
As am I when I say I have exactly no time to worry about your gigolo boyfriend.
Coarse, cynical, and ambitious, this former head of Redanian intelligence turned underworld crime boss plays a major role in Wild Hunt, where players first encounter him surrounded by naked loungers in his lavish bathhouse headquarters. Better get ready for some gratuitous video game nudity. Although Geralt once broke his leg, Dijkstra regards the Witcher with respect and forges an uneasy and conditional alliance. Beneath his criminal activities are crouched much larger plans for the state of Redania. Dijkstra might be crass and ruthless, but in the world of The Witcher, where nothing is as it seems, his bluntness is often refreshing. In the end, he's a man of intelligence and patriotism, and you better not stand in his way.
I'd rather show than tell. Picture's worth 1,000 words and all that tribe.
Number 6. Zoltan.
Who are you?
Yeah, drunk. I'm your pal, Zoltan Chivay.
Drinker, gambler, soldier of fortune, and Geralt's staunch ally. Plus, he's got a pretty nifty mohawk to boot. Zoltan is the quintessential fantasy dwarf character. Handy with an axe, gloriously bearded, with an eye for jewels, and of course, a Scottish brogue. Because, you know, dwarves are always Scottish, right? That's written down somewhere.
Geralt, in the nick of time, as always.
Earnest and loyal, optimistic but pragmatic, Zoltan is the perfect sidekick. There in a pinch when Geralt needs him, even to fight off the Wild Hunt. In the books, he owns a potty-mouthed parrot named Field Marshal Windbag, which is, alas, only briefly mentioned in the games. Whether he's getting into trouble or getting Geralt out of it, Zoltan is the companion that every sword-toting fantasy hero needs.
It's been years, you old prick.
Number 5. Triss Merigold.
Well, they say Kavir's lovely this time of year, but I prefer you.
Sorceresses seem to come in one type, voluptuous and really hot for Geralt. But which is which? Heroic and altruistic, Triss is the kind-hearted do-gooder of the power-hungry sorceresses in the series, showing that not all witches are big-headed schemers with huge egos.
Thank you, Geralt, for this, and for what you said at the port.
As a potential love interest in all 3 games, Triss also acts as a foil for her friend and romantic rival Yennefer, but more on her later. Triss is not all goody two-shoes though. Desperately in love with Geralt, during his amnesia she forgets to mention his previous relationship with her BFF, adding a note of moral ambiguity to her otherwise pretty straightforward character.
So, tell me how Yen's doing?
How do you know I found her?
You didn't answer my question.
Number 4, Dandelion.
If our bodies could a song compose, my heart would inquire of your hands pale and fine.
Foppish dandy and talented bard, Dandelion is Geralt's companion on numerous adventures. The poet to his warrior, the Casanova to his noble knight. The misadventures of the incorrigible and narcissistic troubadour add a note of humor to the series, while an older, more somber Dandelion narrates the 2nd and 3rd games through voiceovers and quest descriptions, providing the storyline with continuity and gravitas.
Sorceress Yennefer. She'd eluded him for years, but now seemed just a few steps ahead.
In the books, Dandelion is named Jaskier, Polish for buttercup, and both names illustrate his flowery and colorful nature. He certainly does have a way with words. Cocky, overconfident, and extravagant. The series just wouldn't be complete without this world-famous minstrel.
Gave me enough material for a volume of ballads. And this one will sell like hotcakes.
Nobody's gonna read that drivel.
Number 3, Ciri.
Come, I'll walk you home. And explain to your parents that they must not lose their children in the woods.
Geralt's protege and adopted daughter, the lion cub of Sintra is perhaps the Wild Hunt's most human and believable character. Headstrong, rebellious, and relatable, Ciri is both a princess and a tomboy, a beautiful badass, and a fugitive on the run.
The world's end?
No, not yet. But I must go. They're here for me.
A sometimes playable character with the ability to travel through time and space, she comes with a cool and distinctive combat style involving teleportation dashes and charges. Her relationship with Geralt humanizes the sometimes gruff and cantankerous Witcher, and introduces a classic coming-of-age struggle with destiny, gotta stop the end of the world and the apocalypse White Frost sort of story into the main questline. Blessed with great magical power and an inexhaustible stock of very dark eye makeup, Ciri is the glue that makes the Wild Hunt work. Number 2, Yennefer.
Ow, what was that?
It can't be all sweetness and light.
A powerful sorceress and lover of all things unicorn, Yennefer of Vengerberg is Geralt's principal romantic interest in Sapkowski's stories, and a major character in the Wild Hunt. Although at times disparaging, arrogant, and sarcastic, beneath her tough exterior lies an inextinguishable flame for our grizzled white-haired Witcher, and genuine concern for Ciri. Famous for her beauty as well as her power, she was actually born a hunchback and suffered a traumatic childhood. But Yennefer is far from a damsel in distress. Instead, she is a deliberately polarizing character, provoking different responses from different players, and arriving in the series during Wild Hunt with a bang. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Ooh! 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hey!
Vernon Roach, Temeria's last hope.
Laugh all you want. Temeria will rise again.
Vesemir told me about that job you did for those Nilfgaardians in Velen.
What? What are you doing? Killing monsters.
Number 1, Geralt.
There's an enormous difference between us, but it's not about status. It's about me having 2 swords on my back, and you having none.
Well, what would The Witcher be without The Witcher? A monster hunter for hire, purged of emotions and sworn to political neutrality. Geralt has hidden depth to him that makes him interesting. Although he sometimes has the emotional range of a tree, it's the cracks in the facade of indifference that makes him so compelling. He cares for Ciri like a father, and is deeply in love with Yennefer, or Triss depending on your choices, and he once died defending non-humans during a violent pogrom. Yeah, he got better.
Abracadabra, hocus pocus.
A knight in shining armor, an erstwhile poet, and occasional joker, Geralt is a fixed character that surprisingly works very well in a genre that typically permits more customization than the player's haircut and beard.
Greetings, Master. What can I do for you?
Got a razor and shears? Good. Make me look decent.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.